Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. I've been looking forward to this, and I am not kidding. When I'm not here with you, I miss you. It's the truth. Maybe I should do videos 7 days a week. I don't know. Anyway, look, let's talk, people. You and me have a bunch of stuff to go over, and we're going to do that. So, yes, this is my newest segment of Markets, a look ahead. And you know what I always like to do? We got to look back first. We look back to kind of gauge where we are moving. You have to know this if you don't already. Trends are where it's at with regard to the market. Pretty much everything follows a trend line. So with that said, let's look at what's going on, what certain assets are doing, like gold and silver and crypto, and what we can expect moving forward, people. Because look, a long time ago, you all know this. I'm talking a long time ago. I promised to keep all of you on the right side of this, and I have done that to the best of my ability. And I will continue to do that because I will never let you down. I won't do it. I feel like it's a responsibility to me, and I want us to all win. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So, with that aside, let's look back. What's going on with this market? What happened last week? Record high, record high, record high. And that's kind of interesting. We got what? 2 warnings from Wall Street mega banks, Citigroup and the super bank, JP Morgan, a warning on this market. I don't know what they are looking at. I really don't understand it. Look, believe me, nobody out here, except for you, is more clear on the fact that this market is a freak show. This market is a hyper bubble. Being fueled by central banks. It has no bearing on reality. It's absolutely disconnected from the economy, which is in free fall. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But the mechanism here is in place, and that is the Fed buying it all, fulfilling their end game here. And that is propelling the market higher in the face of every single thing thrown at it. So, again, going back to these mega banks calling for a market correction or a big drop in the market, I still don't see it, because we understand something. The stock market today it's always been like this, but never to this degree. The stock market is a derivative. The entire stock market, the equity market, is a derivative of other factors. Number one being the debt market. So do we believe, you and me, and I want to hear from you in the comment section, do you believe that this debt market hyperbubble is going to deflate anytime soon? Or do you believe that the Federal Reserve, other central banks, the IMF are going to continue to inflate, issue debt, buy more debt, and come up with things that we can't even possibly believe to keep this mechanism going? That's the camp I am in. I am in the camp that central banks are not even close to inflating. They want to continue to inflate despite anything else. That's their goal. That's their end game, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. And that means continuing to inflate their balance sheets, continuing to issue more debt, to continue to, again, give the illusion of liquidity via things like the repo market, the reverse repo. I explained this recently. Cash moving back and forth between institutions to the tune of over $1 trillion a day. I mean, you know this if you've been following all my work here. So I would be willing to bet that most of you out here are in the Greg Mannarino camp. And that would be that central banks around the world, the IMF, this whole thing is, they're not even close. They're not even close to being done inflating here. So all the talk about, tapering and stopping asset purchases, and it's not going to happen. I still firmly believe the Fed will be increasing asset purchases moving forward. And why? Because we haven't had a single piece, not one single piece of good economic news in years. Years. We've had some pretty astounding cheerleaders for the market, rah, 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 tremendous and fantastic, going higher and higher and higher. And that's the mechanism here. It's been in place literally since the meltdown here. And all this is a fake environment. It's an illusion. It's not real. Okay? The whole financial system is so twisted. It really is. And very few people, I know you do, but very few people have a handle on this. Anyway, so looking back at the market here, again, record high, record high, record high, despite the fact that Wall Street mega banks, a few of them, two of them at least, are calling for some big market event to happen sometime soon. But with the debt inflating the way it is, the Fed's balance sheet inflating the way it is, how can this stop? Understanding, again, that the stock market is a derivative of the debt market, number one, and a few other factors. The dollar, which took a pretty big hit last week. Crude oil, major factor here. We all know that. The propping up crude oil, fueling the energy sector, fueling the financial sector. This is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And OPEC, by the way, they kind of laughed at Bidenstein calling for an increase in production of crude. Is not going to happen. They got the world by the throat here. And again, all the products that are made with crude oil is astounding. But remember, Yellowstone Powell said inflation is contained. It's not contained at all. It's rampant, and it's going to get much, much worse here. And you're going to hear the mainstream channels, the mainstream news kind of twist this. Oh, it's not so bad. It could have been worse. It may be getting better. Bullshit. It's all just dog shit wrapped in cat shit, as you all know. Anyway, so with the market, if things remain the way they are this week, we're going to see new record highs. I'm talking about the 10-year yield remaining stable. I'm talking about a weaker dollar. Took a big hit last week. The trajectory here for the market is clearly higher if 10-year yield remains stable, dollar stays weak, and crude stays where it is. If crude happens to get bid higher, well, the market's going much, much higher. It'll be a lock with regard to new record highs for the market. Gold and silver, let's cover that. Gold and silver is still consolidating here, okay? As I have explained to you, after that precipitous drop, we're going to see this for a while. To me, this opens up a beautiful window of opportunity for you and for me to continue to add to our physical positions. Again, do your own research. Let's move on to cryptocurrencies. People, cryptocurrencies are surging, okay? Dash, for example, is made an incredible turnaround. It's back up around $200, going much, much higher. I added significantly to my positions, all my crypto positions and Dash as well, during that drop. So I am in the green across the board with regard to my crypto positions, and I hope you are as well. If you listened to my advice or at least did your own research, I told you this was going to happen. I keep explaining that cryptos are going much, much higher in the face of all the negativity out here against cryptocurrencies. These kind of people are never right. They've never been right once. I, on the other hand, have kept you on the right side of cryptos as well, okay? And I, again, want us to win so badly I can taste it. Not just myself. Look, I could sit here and do all this stuff and not tell you about it. But I want to share this all with you. Look, I happen to have, I don't know how to put this, well, maybe a little bit of an insider's take on the market with regard to the stock market, with regard to cryptocurrencies and everything connected to it, because I talk to everybody. I'm not saying I trade on inside information or anything like that, but I am saying that being that I know these people at most of the major banks, and I talk to these people on a regular basis, I hear things. The market and people involved in it, they like to talk. They like to talk. So you pick up on these things. You understand? And I share it all openly with all of you. You know, a lot of you write to me, oh, Greg, you know, you must have some kind of inside information. And, you know, I think that's, people could argue, I suppose, that maybe that is true to a certain degree. But I share it with all of you. It's nothing I'm doing here you know, isn't public, because you know, I disperse it to all of you. Anyway, so that's the story here, people. With the market, the trajectory is higher. Let's see what happens this week. I'm really excited about it. It's watch crude oil, watch that 10-year yield, everything right here on my website, traderschoice.net. It's set up for you there. Cryptos, gold, silver, the dollar, everything. And again, as always, people, this guy loves you. I promise to keep you ahead of the curve, ahead of this market, ahead of most other people who are, you know, trying to explain this market to you. Because I think I put a perspective on it that's easy to understand. And that's what this is really all about, to keep us winning, okay? Again, love you a lot. I'll see all of you in the morning. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm out of here.